Good day, and welcome back to another episode of Train Valley 2 with Dad Has No Game. We're going to be doing level 2 or mission 2 today, the farm. So this mission, or this level, has, to get a 3-star rating on this one, we need to finish in under 7.5 minutes. For our final 2 stars, we've got objectives to not destroy objects with a total combined value over $5,000, and we can't allow any trains to arrive at the wrong station. So we're going to get cracking here on this level as soon as we get through the intro. Alright, here we go. We're starting off level 2, the farm, in Train Valley 2. So in this level we have a few tasks to complete. We need to get 10 sand back to the city. We also need to get 4 grain and 6 cattle back. You'll see here we've got our city with 4 workers queued up and ready to go. We have a sand pit. It requires workers in order to produce sand. Up here I've got a farm. We can produce grain. Also requires workers. And then over here we have a ranch to produce some cattle. Cattle require workers and grain to be produced. So in order to complete our tasks here, I'm going to need to get 10 sand. I'm going to need to get 4 grain for the city and 6 grain for the cattle, so that's a total of 10 grain. And we'll produce 6 cattle and get them back to the city as well. Got 3 trains to work with this level, so we can have 3 trains on the tracks at any given time. Should help us move things around a little more efficiently. But one thing to note is that we have a starting budget of $10,000, which is not a lot of money to get things started. Normally I'll like to lay as much track as I can to start a level off before I hit play, so that I can save that time within the game. But in this case, it's not going to go as far as I'd like. So you can see here we're going to have to get some sand started in order to get some of that money back in the queue, so that we can finish the rest of our tracks and complete the level. So one of our objectives here was to not destroy objects with a total combined worth of over $5,000. So you'll notice here, when we're building tracks, it's costing us $1,000 per square to build track. But we have these places on the map that have a red square. So if I try to build track across that, it costs more. So you'll see here it costs an extra $1,000 to do that square. Now it's going to cost us $7,000 to complete that. So instead we should work to avoid any obstacles. And that it's teaching us this in level 2 so that we can learn to do that. We can build tracks more efficiently and save money. But we'll do that. We'll get our 6,000 to build a track over to here. Something else I should note when we're completing our tasks, I've got a single item of sand over here, so we can complete that. I have a separate item for grain here, so we can complete either of those in any order that we'd like. But you'll notice that the cow is stacked underneath of the grain. That means that we need to complete getting our 4 grain back to the city before it will unlock the 6 cows. So we have to make sure that we plan accordingly and get our grain back before we deliver our cows. We have 4 workers queued up in the city here, so I'm going to kick them off so they'll head over and start producing me some sand, and we're ready to get started. As soon as these workers clear, I've got 2 more ready to go, so I can send them right away. And there we go. And we're building up. We've almost got our second, so we can send numbers 5 and 6 over to the sand pit right off the hop here. You'll notice we're getting $2,000 just for delivering workers to the production facility. So it's already building up our stack of cash. And there was something else I wanted to show you here. So you will see that we can have 4 sand produced and ready to leave the facility. We've produced one of those 4, so that's going to let you have 4. We can also have 4 workers queued to make more sand. So whatever that number is, that's how many people you can have in the queue to make more. You'll notice here that I already have 3 guys in my queue, and I got 2 guys coming in on this train. If these workers are delivered to the facility before that number reaches 2, it's only going to top it up to 4. So if, in this case, I would be losing the extra guy. He'd be lost. So we need to keep an eye on that when we're delivering workers, in order to not waste that resource. And while I have things paused here, I think I have enough money to complete my track, avoiding the trees, to get back down here to the city, so I can send workers up to the farm and get them started as well. So we'll do that. We'll shift our arrow over, we'll switch our tracks, send those 2 guys, and let's get moving again. So that's finished, so I can finish getting those 2 guys. That'll go up to 4 workers in the queue. I'm going to send 2 more that way. I'm going to send 2 sand back. Try to be as efficient as we can here. So you notice our sand, we're getting $4,000 for delivering sand. You generally get a little bit of extra money for delivering resources than you do for delivering workers. So we'll send some grain back down. We need to get that completed, so we'll do that, get the workers out. Hopefully that's not too tight. No, we're good. No crashes today. Even though we're allowed to, that's not one of our objectives. We still want to avoid it if we can. Send some more workers up to the farm. I'm going to send some more workers over to the sand pit. And then we get to build some more tracks. So I'm going to need to get some of this grain over to the ranch in order to produce our cows. So we're going to build, I don't know why you'll notice for whatever reason I typically build these things backwards from the destination to the source. For whatever reason, that's just how my brain works. So we'll have to do that. I've spent some money there, and I'm going to be building some more tracks here afterwards to complete the loop, and I'll explain that a little bit more when I do that. Alright, so I've got 2 more grain heading home, and then I'll have my 6 sand to send in as well. And what I'll do is I'll get this going here as well. So what I'm doing is I'm building a second set of tracks, because I have the funds to do so. And I've got a loop here now. So I can send stuff back and forth here, and I can send stuff back and forth to the city without having to worry about them getting tangled up on the tracks. And I want to do that so that I can be as efficient as I can. You see I've got some workers piling up here ready to go. So as soon as the track is clear, I'm going to send more workers, but I can send some grain right now. Send the workers up. I don't know if you noticed that, but when the train came in, it turned my switch this way, When you send a train backwards across the switch, it automatically moves the switch. So you need to keep an eye on that as you're playing through the game. Because if you send a train across and you're expecting a switch to be one way instead of the other, you're going to have a bad day. So you'll see, watch this train come across here. It's going to straighten this switch out. Alright, I'm going to send another worker up. I'm going to send another grain up. As soon as he clears, I can send my sand across, finish my sand up for the city. Now I've got 3 trains on the track, so these guys are getting pretty close together, hey? Okay, I'm going to put the brakes on so they don't crash, and then off we go. 2 more grain heading out, 2 more workers heading out. And that should be enough to build all of the resources we need to finish up this level. Now we're just going to need to get the cows home. Still doing pretty good on time there. You'll notice as I went up here, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, that I plowed down some trees, so I used 1,000 of my 5,000 that I could destroy. Still well within budget. So I'm not too concerned about that. I've got 4 cows coming back to the city. I have a cow completed here. And you'll notice there was only 1 cow completed, and I was still able to send the train. See, it still uses the train, but there's only 1 cow on it. This is an inefficient use of trains. So you got to be sure that the train's full and ready to go. There's enough units to fill up the train. There's going to be situations where maybe you only need to deliver 1 object and you want to do this, but you'll see that I'm finishing behind schedule now because I had to wait for that train to go in before I could let my last cow go out. So I lost a few seconds there. But all in all, it's not affecting the outcome of this level, but when things get tighter, it's definitely something to watch out for. Anyways, our cows are coming home, and this level is done. We have victory on the farm with a full 3 stars for time in 5 minutes and 40 seconds. I only destroyed $1,000 worth of objects instead of my maximum of 5, so I achieved that goal, and I didn't put any trains into the wrong station. You'll notice, and I don't know if I did a very good job explaining this before, but if I tried to send the cows into the city before I had sent the grain, that would count as the train arriving at the wrong station. The train gets ejected, you lose that objective, and as you'll see in the blooper reel here, you also have a train crash out of it. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll tune in again next time for our level 3, episode 3 of this series. Thanks again for watching. We have a few tasks to complete here. We need to collect 10 sand. We need 4 grain, and then we need 4 cows. As I said, I need 2 more wheat for town as well. I'm sending too many workers up there. That's okay. Turn these guys around, and now I can just fill the track there. Off we go. We wheat number 2. See how this works out for crashes. Uh-oh. Oh, you see what I did there? I sent a train to the wrong station. I didn't realize, or I forgot, you have to finish the wheat before you can start the cows. And now we're going to see our very first train kaboom. There we go. And you see the trains crash. Normally you lose tracks too, but we didn't in this case. But you guys aren't going to get to see this. It'll just be in the blooper reel. So, yeah. I'm going to restart this level here shortly.